James Field, April 23rd. John Hopkins, April 24th. And that's it. And then, so let's sing.
We're going to sing happy birthday. Ready?
Right.
Everyone, stand up. Let's sing. All right. To the April birthday babies. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, April Rotarians. Happy birthday to you. All right, there we go. Okay, and so now what we're going to do, I know the home opener for the Indians was last week. I guess today they play the Yankees, a home game. How many of you are going to be there today watching the game? Not me. 11-2, we got our butts kicked. Okay, so I thought it's only fitting we should sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, right? Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back, so let's root for the Guardians. If they don't win, it's a shame. So it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out of the old ball game. There we go.
Thank you, Chris. And now our president, Father Joe Boisel.
Did you know that 2 things about the happy birthday song? That one is the person who wrote the happy birthday song is buried in the cemetery in Louisville, Kentucky. And you can go and visit her grave. I did. I don't know why we did, but it was something to do. We were in Louisville. The other thing is, you know that when you get a song stuck in your head and you can't get it out, like you're lying in bed and it's, early in the morning and this song and just won't get out. If you sing the happy birthday song, it gets the other song out of your head. I don't know why it works, but it does. And it only works with happy birthday. So then, no, you don't. For some reason, it doesn't stick. It's a quirk of nature. It's a miracle of physics, something like that. You'll have to get an astronomer. Okay, I do have some announcements to make. The first one is, if you're a person who can or knows how to do or is capable of or willing to try be running our audiovisual, even for just a short time until we have a soul to step into your spot, we need that. So this morning, James has kindly stepped once more into the breach, but he can't do this continually, has done it for a long time. And so if you can do that, we need you, okay? See me after this meeting. Board of directors meeting immediately following this meeting. So if you're a board member, please plan to stay for that. This coming Saturday, the 15th of April, 9 a.m. at Ellsworth Hill Elementary School, we have this garden. And so we're going to clean up the garden, bring, it's at 9 o'clock. How long anybody have any idea how long that's going to take? Well, stay as long as you can, leave as soon as you need to. But arrive at 9 a.m., plan to bring some, pruning and garden tools, gloves, things like that. If you can be part of that, Ellsworth Hill, 9 a.m. This evening at 7 o'clock, the League of Women Voters is hosting a climate change discussion. I think of something of that sort. Is that close to maybe? Am I getting in the ballpark over there? All right. Is it 7 o'clock? It's at Hudson High School in the Media Center. I used to call it a library. I don't think they're called library. It's a media center, isn't it? Yeah. The media. I'm sorry. Entrance E. Yes. E is in Edward. Okay. 7 p.m. Did I say that? We are continuing to collect items for the Grace House Hospice Care Center it's in Kent. Am I right about that? And the items that we need are gift cards to grocery stores, postage stamps, and of course, cash. If you can be involved in that, that would be wonderful. Gala tickets, you should have those. If you could, get those turned in, money turned in for those as soon as possible, that'd be great. Also, if you're assigned to collect items, get those items turned in. And if you have any questions see Marilyn. She will set you straight. Next week, I am off to Rwanda in Africa. And so, yeah, I know you're gonna miss me, aren't you? It's gonna be terrible. You just pull yourself together. It's only a week. But I'll be back with a report from all things Rwanda in a fortnight or so. Mandy, are we ready? Do we have what do you think? What's the status right now vis-a-vis our speaker? He's on. All right, you come on up here and you be our introducer. Okay.
Oh, that's okay. So our speaker this morning is Josh Larkin from the Weather Vane Playhouse. Mr. Larkin has overseen the accounting functions of Weather Vane Playhouse since 2017, having previously worked as a public accountant specializing in federally funded low-income housing projects. He holds multiple BAs in public accounting and business management from Muskingum University. A native of Dover, Ohio, he is currently a resident of Akron, where he is building a family with his wife, Brooke, and their son, Ronan. Initially coming to Weather Vane as a volunteer, both on stage and behind the scenes, Joshua has built upon a 20-year history of working with theatrical organizations throughout Eastern Ohio. He has served as a performer, director, designer, choreographer, and board member, filling the positions of treasurer and vice president of the board of the Little Theater of Tuscarawas County. For Weather Vane, Mr. Larkin works on both sides of the curtain. He manages the financial aspects and business operations of the Playhouse, while also serving as a director, choreographer for a number of Weather Vane productions. Weather Vane is a truly unique organization that is so special to so many. To have an opportunity to foster its success, that it may be that special place for many generations to come, is an honor and a privilege. Hopefully we can get Zoom up.
Hi there. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, Mike. Yes, we can hear you. Unfortunately, the video is not working right now. I'm working on that.
Oh, that's all right.
Rotary here, the wire that goes to the computer has had problems. So I'm working on it.
That's all
right. But you can go ahead. I could actually see you on my computer.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share. Well, is there anything sharing my screen is going to get in the way of you troubleshooting anything? I just have a little PowerPoint presentation.
Share your screen. Unfortunately, we can't see it.
Okay.
Maybe you could. I'm still working on the video here.
Okay, that's totally fine.
Wait, don't touch anything there. Hang on. Stop. Okay. No, here.
Okay, well, in the meantime, I can sort of give a little, well, firstly, thank you, Amanda, for that introduction. I greatly appreciate it. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me today. My name is Joshua Larkin. I have been, as Amanda said, working with Weather Vane in the capacity as the finance manager and now director of finance since 2017. Again, as my bio stated, I first started with Weather Vane Playhouse as a volunteer, as a performance volunteer. And then within a couple of years, then was working in the offices, trying to maintain the organization for people like me who found it to be a valuable place to both enjoy the things that I love doing and to meet people who love them similarly. So today I'm going to give you a little presentation talking about Weather Vane Playhouse. First, I guess before we get started, I can't see all of you, but can you give me just like a little yeah or a little woo if you've been to Weather Vane Playhouse?
Your video is back up now. So if you
Oh,
want to share
great.
your screen, hopefully that will stay up.
Okay, let's see what we can do here. Okay. You see this? Are you seeing a PowerPoint presentation out there?
We can see it.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So, as you can see from this title card here, Weather Vane Playhouse is Summit County's longest continuously operating theater. We are going to be entering our 89th season starting this August with our presentation of Matilda, the musical. So we are slowly, well, sometimes slowly, sometimes quickly approaching our 90th season, which stands to be a pretty big one. And before you know it, we'll be at our century mark. So we were really looking forward to being able to celebrate that with everyone. Today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my personal experience, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about Weather Vane's approach to producing theater. As I stated before, I was first a volunteer with Weather Vane. Weather Vane is a volunteer organization. We do have professional directors and we have a professional staff. However, everyone that you see on Weather Vane stages are volunteers, as are the majority of our designers. All of our backstage work, that's all performed by volunteers. Everyone that you see front of house when you come to Weather Vane is also a volunteer. And in various capacities that you may interact with Weather Vane, you may be interacting with a volunteer. We'll get into the breadth of volunteerism with Weather Vane here in a little bit. But firstly, I want to tell you that the reason that I feel so strongly about Weather Vane is that I've been I guess you could say a theater kid my entire life. My parents got me involved with dance when I was 5 years old. I moved that into doing annual ballets down in Tuscarawas County for several years, then got involved with community theater there, became a board member eventually, and spent a lot of my free time working in community theater. Then some life changes occurred. I ended up in Akron working in Fairlawn, and thought, well, I'm going to see what the community theater situation is around this area. Auditioned for a show at Weather Vane, really was fortunate enough to be cast in that show with one of Amanda's colleagues, which is sort of how I think I ended up with you all today. So it's all connected, right? Met a great group of people there. Found myself in unfamiliar territory, but with a bunch of people that I felt very comfortable with and who seemed to be most interested in making sure that I felt comfortable with them. I had a few more experiences with Weather Vane. All of them have been extraordinarily positive, and I felt truly at home in a place away from home. During this time, I was still living in Tuscarawas County, about an hour south of Akron. So I would make the hour drive on a regular basis back and forth just to make sure that I was being involved with this organization that I really started to feel like a home away from home to me. So then when the opportunity came to work for the organization, I thought it would be a great opportunity to do something to foster an organization that I felt could do a lot for a lot of people. And so that's where I am today. And I have to say, it's been kind of a dream job for me. And hopefully by the end of this presentation, you'll understand at least a little bit of why that is for me. So within this presentation, I'm going to tell you about a few things about Weather Vane. Firstly, we're going to talk about the vision of the organization. We're going to talk about its impact on the community, its use of educational offerings to further that impact, our approach to productions, and also the prospects of the future of Weathervane. So getting right into it, let's start with the vision. So this organization started in 1935. It was begun by 4 women: Grace Howard Crawford, Laureen Schwann, Helen Trosser, and Muriel McLaughlin. They got together during 1935 at a time when they felt that the community and the people around them could use some entertainment in their lives, something to keep their spirits up. It's between the Depression and World War II. Started in a small barn. The show started there, and then it's grown into the organization it is today, where we own our own property, our own theater space in the Merriman Valley in Akron. So what that vision has developed into today, Weathervane as a nonprofit organization has a mission statement. That mission is to enrich the quality of life and to engage the community through theater and education. The board of directors has decided that that mission, while important and what really speaks to what the organization hopes to achieve, can be bolstered also by an organizational vision that spans both eras and leadership changes. When the board turns over, everyone who comes in sees this vision, they understand exactly what Weathervane is trying to achieve. Firstly, consistent excellence in high caliber, diverse, challenging theater productions that compel our community to attend, participate in, and discuss the ideas and human conditions that are presented on our stages. Further, the enthusiastic commitment of hundreds of volunteers who devote their time, talent, and treasure to a uniquely rewarding environment. They value exceptional educational programming for both children and adults that provides essential life skills through stage skills. We are always keeping an eye on the financial stability of the organization that reflects both our market value and intrinsic civic worth through maximization of earned income and diversified, robust contributed income, which we'll talk about in more depth a little later. Also, it is important that the organization maintain its place as a community treasure that has a profound effect on people's lives, which is what I was speaking to earlier in my personal experience. So the mission feeds the vision also feeds the core values of the organization. Those core values are excellence in both production quality and how we interact with our patrons and volunteers. Volunteerism, promoting the opportunity for any person of various skill levels, age, background, allowing them the opportunity to be a part of something like Weathervane. Respect for both our staff members, our board members, our patrons, and our volunteers. Openness to achieve greater understanding of those around us. Accountability for everything that we do, both on stage and off. Diversity, making sure that our offerings are going to speak to the community at large. Collaboration with each other and with other organizations who share a similar vision. And of course, fun. If you're not having fun, then why are we all here? So we want to make sure that this is a good experience for everyone involved, whether they are coming to see a show, or whether they're part of the show, or whether they are just there to support something that they feel strongly about. So I think that covers more or less the overall vision of the organization. It really helps to be a part of something at Weathervane to fully understand that. And I encourage anyone here who is looking for potentially a volunteer opportunity or would like to maybe share this experience to inquire about that. You can email volunteer@Weathervane Playhouse, and our coordinator of volunteers will reach out to you and allow you the opportunity to be a part of what we do at Weathervane. So moving on, we're going to talk about the impact that Weather Vane has on the community at large. This impact is seen both through our productions and our educational offerings, and also through partnerships that we maintain through different organizations. Firstly, let's talk about the productions that we put on stage. That is the core product of Weather Vane Playhouse. So our records currently that are comparable to today are available through 1997. So what the information I'm going to be giving you here is from 1997. Unfortunately, I don't have the records for the entirety of the history of Weather Vane Playhouse that I can compile into nice little neat data. I do love my data as an accountant, but I'm going to give you a little slice. This is about 25 years, almost a little over a quarter of the organization's life. So what we're looking at here in that period of time, 3,662 performances have been executed on the Weather Vane stages. This past season that we completed, our 87th season, there were 92 performances in that season. So just over a quarter of the year, the days in the year were filled with a show of some sort on a Weather Vane stage. And nearly half the weeks of the year contained performances at Weather Vane. So it's just as likely as not that you're going to show up at Weather Vane on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and there's going to be a show going on. Over that time, we've also executed 282 productions. We have had over 800 total productions in the lifetime of the organization. We hit that number this past season with our production of The Color Purple, and we're continuing to amass more productions as we go on. Right now, we're about to open our production of Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap. About 70% of our tickets are already gone. So if that sounds interesting to you, I do encourage you to either give us a call or get on the Weather Vane website at weathervaneplayhouse.com and get those tickets now. Over that period of time, over 500,000 patrons have been served at Weather Vane Playhouse. That is a pretty astounding number as far as I'm concerned. Now, that's not huge if you're talking about Playhouse Square, but as for an organization of our size and with a 233 seat theater, we consider that to be a pretty big number. We had about 17,000 in our past season. This year, we're looking to up that to another 20,000. We've also given over that period of time 56,260 free admissions to our performances. Part of what we like to do as a community organization in serving our community is that we give free tickets away to both our volunteers. Your volunteerism gives you free admission to our productions and a certain number of tickets. We also give those tickets away to other nonprofit organizations and through fundraisers for other organizations around Summit County. Additionally, we also have a project of our own called Project Stage, which offers $7 tickets to schools for daytime performances. That can be a daytime performance for just about any of our productions. We try to put on as many as we can for what dates schools will be able to attend. So those are field trips for us. Those are now picking back up. Fortunately, now that the pandemic has more or less subsided, we still have safety precautions on our side that we'll get into a little later, but we are seeing schools return to our theater. So we're really excited to continue that program. A little bit about the volunteerism and contributions that contribute to our impact. Currently, we have 256 active volunteers. That includes both backstage, onstage, and front of house. That can be as much as construction of sets, designing of technical aspects of our productions, and bartending in the lobby. We have a nice refurbished bar in the lobby that we'll also talk about a little later. Our box office volunteers, people who may answer the phones if you call in during the week. as well as our ushers and house managers. Those are just a small sampling of the volunteer opportunities that we have at Weathervane Playhouse. Altogether, those volunteers have amassed over this past year 29,144 volunteer hours, which is pretty astounding. Over that time, those hours have compiled to over $400,000 in donated labor. That is a pretty significant portion of our operating budget. It's actually a third of our annual operating budget. So if we didn't have these volunteers, we would have a significant increase in our operating budget that we would have to account for. And as a nonprofit organization, we do everything that we can to take advantage of the revenues that we have to put product out for the community. We want to make sure that our product is as strong as possible, and that donated labor through volunteer hours is something that allows that to happen, allows us to be a professional level organization with volunteer performers, giving everyone an opportunity to be a part of the magic. Additionally, on an annual basis, we receive about $400,000 in contributions. Those include our grant fundings from various organizations throughout Summit and surrounding counties, as well as individual and corporate donations that we receive from people who are interested in ensuring that Weathervane's mission is maintained and executed, and that we remain a vital part of Akron and Summit County communities. Now, one of the primary pieces of Weathervane's operations has been our education department for several years. There is a very active portion of our operation that serves nearly 1,400 students on an annual basis. That's both in-house and in various off-site programs that we maintain. During an average year, we are awarding just over 100 scholarships for individuals who are taking our classes. Those are completely free tuitions to our classes and camps. Those are provided by individual donations from organizations who are interested in ensuring that Weathervane's educational offerings continue into the future, and that those who may not otherwise be able to experience them are given that opportunity. Over 70 different classes are offered on an annual basis over 4 different semesters. We have each season a fall, a winter, a spring, and a summer semester, with summer being our most significant semester on an annual basis. And part of our educational offerings were integral in us receiving the 2022 Morgan Impact Award from PEGS Foundation for excellence in the arts. Not only were we awarded that distinction because of our on-stage offerings, but because the education program at Weathervane is so robust and is seen as a jewel of the Akron community for those who are seeking to learn more and develop skills in the arts. We will talk a little bit more about education right now. So, is there anyone here today who either has taken a class with Weathervane or knows someone who has? Do you have anyone in your family who has taken a class at Weathervane? All right. I don't hear anybody, but I can say if you know anyone who is interested in the arts, I highly recommend taking a look at what educational offerings we have. You can see these kids here, they're really enjoying themselves. We have performances for all of our camps, either performances or presentations of some kind, where our families can experience what our students have been learning over their camp's process. They can experience what they have been learning, and they see the evidence there on stage. For our Fall Theater Academy, we have 11 classes over 8 weeks. Those classes include acting classes, musical theater classes, dance classes, as well as improv classes. A lot of them are beginner level classes, but some are developing over a period of time. We have 104 students enrolled just in our 11 classes in our fall academy. And one of the classes that we've just added recently that I find very interesting is our Techie 101 class. It is part of our Black Box series, which is for advanced students. It is a class that is taught by professional theater technicians who show students the rarely seen aspects of theater. They go backstage, they see how a theater shop is organized, what tools are being used. They get the experience of actually making pieces of set. They also are afforded the opportunity to look at the specifics of lighting instruments and how they are both designed and used, sound technologies, all kinds of pieces of theater tech that make the magic happen that are fascinating in the way that they all work. We've actually seen a number of students from this class who have gone on to work professionally in the industry. So if you know someone who's interested in that kind of theater work, I highly recommend looking into this class. It's produced some students who are now working out at Porthouse Theater on a professional basis, as well as several other theaters in Northeast Ohio. You can see here, every year, Weather Vane puts on a Hogwarts Academy. You can see here, here's what looks like our young Snape here doling out some wands. Our Hogwarts Holiday Express is an annual class that we hold each December. We've been doing that for the last several years. Of course, we had to take a break for about a year and a half, but that class has been reinstated. 51 students came to our last session of this class, and each class is a unique experience in that it includes a big holiday feast at the end where everybody gets to sort of have fun with each other and talk about the experience that they had at the Holiday Express. So it's been a very popular offering for us for several years now. Moving on to our winter and spring semesters. These are both introduction classes as well as more advanced classes that build on classes that our students have taken in our fall academies. They include 18 workshops and classes over a course of 12 weeks. This past winter and spring had 230 students enrolled in our various classes. Now moving on to summer. This is the big semester for Weather Vane, big time of year. We got students out of school, so they have more time and opportunity to taking more in-depth classes for Summer Theater Academy. We offer 14 on-site camps on an annual basis, as well as 23 off-site camps at various locations around Summit County. We serve over 600 students during this time. That includes both our on-site and off-site programs. We also serve, in addition to that, several students in school programs through our neighborhood playhouse program. That's something that we've been putting on for several years. It is something that needs to be funded through a grant program because it offers meals and classes for free to APS students at certain community learning centers throughout Akron. It's something that we've been very passionate about over many years and would like to see continue. Let's see here. Some of the camps that we offer are improv, introduction to acting and theatrical performance for ages 5 to 8, 8 to 11, and 11 to 17. So whatever age our students may be, they can still get in on the ground floor and learn some introductory skills before they may be interested in taking a more advanced class. We have intermediate acting, musical theater classes, and even a stage management class. So something that is not offered very often, I believe, I've not heard a lot about it, is stage management courses. Stage management is actually an equity position that, if you're not familiar with the concept of stage management, what a stage manager does is, when a show is in production, the stage manager has many responsibilities, including making sure that the stage is ready for performance, that all actors are where they're supposed to be on time, giving those actors their warning calls, making sure that they know when the show is going to be going up so that they're in place when they're supposed to be. And they also call the technical cues for the show. So they know the ins and outs of the entire show. They're able to look through their book, and as the show's going, call this light cue, this sound cue, this set cue all at once, making sure that if there's someone who is running one of those technical aspects who is new, they won't miss a beat. They can walk in, just listen to the stage manager. The stage manager will tell them exactly what they need to do. So that show does not look any different than any other show that has been produced in that run. So that's something that we offer in our educational programming. Again, we have had a number of young students who have gotten in on the ground floor of that stage management course and are very interested in continuing their education in that field, something that can very easily translate into a career for these students. Additionally, I'll say that our neighborhood playhouse has been made possible over the years for partnerships with Akron Public Schools, the Huntington Bank Foundation, as well as Art Sparks, and also the Gum Dip Theater. So we've worked with various other theatrical organizations to make sure that that program continues. And we are hoping to continue that into the next several years as well. I would say probably the last major piece of our educational offerings include our master classes. I don't know if you recognize this man here. His name is Marcus Malcolm Martin. He just came back into town. He is an Akron native who has worked with Weathervane in his youth. I'll tell you, he learned theater at Weathervane. He was just back in town playing the genie in the national tour of Aladdin as it came back through Playhouse Square. And we were fortunate enough that he had the time in his schedule to stop back by Weathervane and give a quick master class for our students who are interested in learning a little bit more about the audition process. So our master classes and our other programs. These master classes are specialized one-session classes that include, among other things, pieces of our productions that are extrapolated into full classes. When we did Kinky Boots coming back out of the pandemic, we had a drag makeup masterclass that was very interesting. We have dance classes from Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. It's a Weathervane tradition, and if you would like to learn a little bit about how to do the choreography for a number of Joseph numbers, you can come to the masterclass and feel like you're part of the production. We also held a whodunit escape room in collaboration with our production of Clue. We'll also have a dance class that we'll be holding in connection with our upcoming production of Ragtime, which I will be fortunate enough to be directing. I'm really looking forward to it. The Marcus audition workshop, I will tell you, was something that I got to experience myself. He was generous enough to allow everyone to kind of sit in on his instruction with these students. They presented a piece, he gave them feedback, they presented their piece again, and you could really see the development of all of those individuals with that instruction, really internalizing what was being said from a professional who's been in their shoes and has developed into an extremely successful professional in the field. So it's invaluable, this sort of instruction. Weathervane Playhouse has also been a part of the Akron After School program. This is something that was maintained over several years and has now returned to Akron Public Schools. It is an opportunity for students to experience arts education in schools and to experience that outside of their regular class time. We have 3 semesters that we provide instructors for Akron After School to APS. That includes over 1,000 hours of instruction and enrichment. So that program is going to be maintained through Weathervane. Ooh, 5 minutes left. Oh, I better get going. Okay. So we maintain several offsite programs. I think we talked about those a little bit. We have those through various schools in the area. We also offer Scout Day to Girl Scout troops who are looking to earn their theater badges. We did about 3 of those last year and served 65 scouts. So here's the main event. We got 5 minutes to talk about productions. This is what everybody really loves to see. They come, they maybe come for the education, they stay for the productions. Our philosophy for productions is multi-layered. We have volunteer performers. We want to make sure that those volunteer performers are given every opportunity to be a part of our productions. We hold open auditions for all of our productions. We have various types of volunteers for those productions, including a wide range of ages and a variety of backgrounds. We also offer opportunities for wheelchair-bound performers, as well as performers who have English as a second language. We have had performers on our stages over the past several years who have fit those bills. Being a volunteer at Weathervane's and part of the productions also offers the development of very important skills, both on stage and off. We offer professional direction for our volunteers. All of our directors are professional directors from many different backgrounds. We've had directors who were the former artistic directors of culturally significant theaters within the United States. We've also had Tony Award winners as directors at Weathervane Playhouse. We also provide state-of-the-art technologies to our volunteers and for our productions. We have a new lighting console, which has great power and the ability to produce really great light shows and to supplement our productions in that way. We have in-house sound techs who help us tackle the struggles of current sound mixing. And we also have set pieces. Our technical director has developed a way to build set pieces that are collapsible, and so that we can maintain storage space, keeping these pieces for later productions. We also go through the process of production selection on an annual basis. We try to put together a mix of musicals and plays, classics, new material, entertainments and dramas, and material that speaks to the modern social issues in contemporary life. This is this picture of our recent production of The Play That Goes Wrong. If you missed it, you really missed something. This entire set fell down on a nightly basis on purpose. So it was a very interesting production, a really fun time for everyone involved. If everyone's probably aware that we were shut down during the pandemic, we could not produce theater. And coming back from the pandemic, we had a lot of things that we weren't certain about. Returning of audiences. I can tell you that audiences have returned in high numbers. Our highest per production attendance in recorded history is actually happening right now. We've had a 22% increase over the 25-year average, and our current year projections are to exceed even those record numbers. Our production costs, however, are 55% higher than they were before the pandemic. Our materials have increased, which is why we value our grant funding and our contributions so highly, as we are very fortunate to have a return of audiences. They're helping to support the additional cost of all of our productions. We do receive significant contributions on an annual basis that we are very thankful for. Grant funding has increased for those who search for it, and we are fortunate to have the ability to report for several of our larger grant funding opportunities. Individual contributions are also up. However, corporate contributions are lagging behind what they would normally be. And our processes. We've had to amend our processes a little bit coming back from the pandemic. Our rehearsal period length is longer. We want to make sure that if there is a problem with illness in our rehearsal process, that will not put us behind the 8 ball. So we have built in longer rehearsal processes. We have obtained protective materials for our volunteers, making sure that they have masks if they need them. And we do provide understudies for all of our roles at Weathervane Playhouse. In case a performer does not feel well and can't go on, we don't want to push them into performing. That would not be good and would not be in the best interest of our volunteers. So we do ensure that we have understudies for all of these roles. The Weathervane experience. Let me see if I can squeeze this in. If you come to Weathervane, those who have know about this. We have a dedicated box office staff. Keith Gamble, our box office manager, he does a lot to make sure that your experience with the Weathervane Playhouse is as positive as possible. We also have volunteers in our box office who do everything that they can to ensure that everyone gets their tickets when they need them. You can also, through Weathervane, purchase your tickets online, and you can receive those tickets in your email. So actually, you don't even need to stop at the box office, though I do highly recommend it because Keith is a treasure for us. We like everybody to experience his level of customer service. We have a renovated lobby. If you haven't been recently, we renovated our lobby in 2010. It makes it a nice space for events. It's also a great place to spend some time before you go into our productions. It's really a showpiece for us that we're very proud of. And in 2022, we actually renovated our patio as well. So now that the weather's getting warmer, that's also going to be a nice place to spend some time. The Roost is our concessions area, our bar. Our bar offers both soda and candy, but also alcoholic drinks. We have our own organizational liquor license, and we do offer drinks on Sundays. This is managed by a professional bartender who crafts signature cocktails for every show. They have been very popular. If you come to Weathervane, I highly recommend checking that out. Also, when we have children's shows, family shows, we do offer some signature drinks for the children as well, so that they can have a nice experience here at Weathervane also. Hot chocolate during Elf was a big hit during our Christmas season. And when you go into our Founders Theater, you'll find it to be an intimate 233-seat theater with no bad seats in the house. It's really, you can experience the full breadth of all of our productions from any seat in that theater. It's fully handicap accessible, and we do afford, for our productions in the Founders Theater, we afford opportunities for American Sign Language interpretation. As long as we have notice, we can get an interpreter in if that's something that you would require. Okay, I'm going to check in. I've got one more section about the future of Weathervane, but if you need me to stop talking, I will do that.
So we are getting very close. We're just wondering if you have a question, time for a question.
Yes, let's go ahead and take a question.
And anyone who has a question, please use the microphone.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I would like to make a couple comments. First, I was lucky enough to attend the performance. It was 8 10-minute plays, and you guys had the umbrella as a prop.
Yes.
That was so entertaining. I loved it. It was my first time at Weathervane, and I was so impressed with just the whole facility. I think there is not a bad seat in the house. I was in the front row. I was up and close with all the actors, and I had such a great time there.
Do you remember the clown? The clown play?
Was that you?
That was me.
I thought so. Oh, I liked that a lot. It was
good.
Great. I definitely want to go back. And then I'm so happy to hear about the education you have for children. When I was in like pre-high school and high school, I was lucky enough to be a part of Lake Erie Arts Program, LEAP, and it was out of Lake Erie College. And I was with a bunch of different kids from different communities, and we did musicals. That was probably the highlight of really my middle school, high school days. You know, I think I learned so much from that, and then it led to doing rabbit run theater, things like that. So I'm really grateful and happy to hear that other kids are experiencing that.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. It's great to hear that. That's something, yeah, those experiences are invaluable and something that we want to make sure that we maintain going forward for future generations. Thank you. Thank you very much for those comments.
I can give a comment as well. The same. I love to go to Weather Vane. The Merchant restaurant right over there is a great place to eat, and fantastic to come over and to catch a play. I think the last one I saw was Shakespeare. I can't remember what it was, 12th night maybe, but
Okay.
yeah, it's fantastic.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yes, the Merchant's a great option if you're coming down to Weather Vane. Yeah, it's a nice area to get a dinner before you come to the show. There's a lot of opportunities down there.
Yeah. Joshua, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Yeah.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you all around Weather Vane soon.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it. All right, Rotarians, we got a time for a Roto-Buck raffle. It payout today is $11, jackpot 182. And by the way, no, it's not George Hamilton. Ed Sogan is back from his time in Florida, looking bronzed and tanned, and no worse for the wear. Good to have you back in. All right, I need somebody who doesn't have skin in this game to do the drawing for me. You do not? All right, Terry, you're in. Pick us out a number.
Okay, it is 923231.
231. Nobody's looking at their number.
There you go. Patricia, Dr. Getz.
Whilst you're en route, I'm going to find these marbles. Ah. All right, you can just drop that dude in there. Here's your $11. Now, how much are we going for? What are we going for? 187. Hey. All right, you'll see there's a black one in there. Do you see it over there? All right. Alas.
And give this to the.
Put it in the wrong place. Goes, okay, we'll make sure that gets there. All right, Rotarians, have a great day. Difference in someone's life, be great. Special thanks to Mandy and to board meeting, yes.